Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And Gooners and Goonerettes, thanks for joining me last night when we had our stream. We had a lot of fun. It wasn't the game that we expected, but we got to see some of our new players integrated into the side. And yeah, I'm used to staying up at 2 a.m. because I follow the NBA and the NFL. For a lot of you Arsenal fans out there, staying up till 2 a.m. was a little bit of a challenge. So listen, well done to all of you guys who managed to stay up and see the game. But the one thing that we have to cover first is Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Arsenal and Manchester City have now reached a verbal agreement in principle for Zinchenko for the fee of around 30 million. Now, personal terms have still not yet to be sorted out because he's on a very low wage at Manchester City. So they are even talking about tripling his salary to around 95 grand a week. So we'll have to wait and see how that figures out and the length of the contract as well. So all of the personal stuff has to be sorted out. But the deal has been agreed in principle between both clubs. So he will be an Arsenal player, barring anything going wrong with the deal. So what does this mean for us? This means quite a lot of things. This means, of course, there was no Kieran Tierney last night after he made a quick appearance in the first game and didn't really last more than 15 minutes. All these things are very worrying and very concerning. And I've also talked about in the past that some of these players are not Arteta's players. Tierney was someone who was bought under Emery and it wasn't really an Arsenal sort of choice for Arteta. But although he made that position and Arteta had a lot of trust in him, but the question is now is, can Arteta trust a player who's had two injury-prone seasons here? And the answer I think we know is no. So that's the reason why you're seeing this kind of cover, because if Tierney is not here, Arteta cannot leave himself hanging like he did at the end of last season and depended quite a lot on Nuno Tavares, who actually is in the process of some talk around Europe now. So there's been talks about Nuno Tavares with Marseille, but they're not progressing. Fabrizio was saying that there's no agreement and there's no buy option included. So basically they just wanted to take the player on loan and then take the mech out of it for some free money. And Arsenal are just not interested in that because he is somebody who can play a part this season in various cup competitions. And I think Arsenal will more utilise him here than rather him being somewhere else. But it does go to show that with what they have, that they are looking at a situation where Tierney and Zinchenko are going to be their sort of first choices. And then that kind of makes Tavares a bit part player. It kind of pushes him down the pecking order. So that's the reason why they're looking at maybe selling him or putting him on loan with an option to buy. As for last night's game, Mikel Arteta hailed Gabriel Jesus' ability to create chaos as he's hit his fourth goal in 3 pre-season games. And the 25-year-old, he hit past Jordan Pickford from a corner. Brilliant corner it was by Cedric Soares in the 33rd minute. And then he also set up a Bukayo Saka goal with a great assist with the outside of his right foot, which fell right into the lap of Bukayo Saka, and he finished easily to put Arsenal 2-0 up. Now, Jesus has made an instant impact from signing for 45 million from Manchester City, and he's already showing what he can do by producing goals that they lacked on the front line for much of last season. And defences are just all over the place with this guy. He creates chaos and he knows what he's doing. He makes runs. He never stops pressuring on the top end. And it's really something that Arsenal have looked for. We look a lot more dynamic and we look like we have a team that understands what's going on and how to play around teammates. He's generating really, really good chances as well, link play with the other players around him, and he's exploiting a lot of weaknesses in defences that we can see thus far. It is only pre-season, so we can't go nuts, but pre-season really is about looking at what players can do and seeing how far their fitnesses are along, and he just looks like he's ready to play. We know quite a few of the players have been playing for their national teams and have had a little bit of a rest, but they've just walked back in it just like it's a 2-week international break. So for them, it's just nothing really. And yes, there is a little bit of a concern that are they getting enough rest, but I think that that's something the manager's just going to have to manage now that he has a bigger squad. One thing I have been saying we could play Nketiah up top because What we saw from Jesus last night is that he has the ability to play out wide. He has played out wide for Manchester City many times, and then he has played in the middle at a number 9. But number 9 in the middle is where Arsenal kind of really sees him and where Arteta plans to utilise him. But make no mistake about it, guys. He has a lot of versatility that we can use in many different ways. Now let's talk about William Saliba. Now Saliba looked really, really good last night, and in terms of his defending, his positioning, he was on point for pretty much most of what he needed to do. The one thing that I thought he was quite average in was his ball possession and playing out the backfield. And we know that Ben White has the ability to break midfields with his pass. We've seen Saliba do it as well. But we didn't really see that last night, so that's probably something more to come. I think what we wanted to see was how relaxed Saliba was and how much he's integrated into the team, and he's just a towering, imposing figure to go alongside Gabriel. I think he's even bigger than Gabriel when you look at him in that way. So Mikel Arteta says we cannot guarantee first team football to anybody in his team. You can ask that question to anybody, although questions might be asked about certain midfielders. What we guarantee is that the ones we really see and think are going to take us to the next level, they're going to be playing a lot of minutes. Also, on Saliba, he says, I think he's improved in many areas. He's played an incredible amount of minutes last year. He's played at a really good level. Now it's about putting those things for the way we want to play in our league, which is a very different context. So you can see he's kind of warming up to the player. And a few other things from last night as well. Martin Odegaard, he's expected to officially be announced as Arsenal's captain very soon. So look out for that, guys. I think that's what most of the fan base wants. I have put various polls up, and over 80% of you guys are saying, look, Martin Odegaard should be the guy. He's dependable. He has the right type of ethics and values as a captain for club and country. And I think he would be a good choice. Also, Arsenal in the second half switched to a back 3. So again, Arteta just toying around with some formations and different looks. But the one thing that surprised me last night, obviously Matt Turner made an acrobatic save from an unexpected halfway line shot, which kind of is his own fault. You should not be walking out to the halfway line when Arsenal's in possession of the football. So maybe that's your own fault, bro. Also, one thing that we saw was Arteta fuming on the sideline when Ainsley Maitland-Niles gave away a cheap possession. It was probably one of the few times that we've seen Arsenal just give the ball away. Silly pass, 30 yards, just clean out of bounds to nobody. And Arteta was just doing his nut. And those are the type of things that will make Maitland-Niles not make this team or not getting any playing time. So that was frustrating to see. For me as well, because I've been a big supporter of the player. Those type of things are not going to get you in the pecking order as far as Arteta goes. Also, when Bukayo Saka scored, he was copying Gabriel Jesus' iconic celebration for his goal, which is to pick up the phone and call me. It looks like everybody's making phone calls there on the front line at the moment. So that was quite funny to see. And we have also heard some news about Lucas Torreira's departure, with the midfielder having agreed a move to Valencia, but Arsenal is saying that it's not enough. Now, the one thing that did come up yesterday was the Athletic posted the average turnover for the clubs the year before the pandemic, and they talked about the turnover for the actual pandemic itself. And some striking numbers in there. A lot of the top clubs just hemorrhaging money. Man City losing 11 million. The biggest was Manchester United losing over 100 million of their revenue. Liverpool 44 million, Chelsea 25 million, Spurs 84 million. That's a massive loss for Spurs. I wonder if that's got to do with the stadium. And Arsenal 57 million, which to be honest, guys, is roughly the amount of money that they've saved on salaries of late. So you can see what Arsenal have actually been doing, and I've talked about that in previous videos, where they've been managing the books, managing the money, walking into this season where the business model is slimmed down to the point where the club can refine their business model to make money again, even at this level, even not making the Champions League. But it is a scary figure, though, to see the amount of millions and the differential losses that these teams have made moving forward. So obviously we're looking to see this season all those teams come back into some positive cash flow, including Arsenal. And that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the game last night. And two more games this week in America, one against Orlando and the other against Chelsea. So we'll be covering those as we go along. But once again, thanks for joining us in the game last night. It was a lot of fun and just good to be back doing podcasts. Speak to you guys later, man. Peace out.